Hello. Like he said, I'm Tony McPeak. You don't have to worry, I'm not a politician. I'm here because something important is happening in Iowa. I'm convinced that a lot of things need to be changed in this country. And I think there's only one man in this crowd of candidates who has a shot at really fixing some of this stuff. But you probably know more about the political and the economic and the social issues than I do. But there is maybe one aspect of this presidency that I can shed a little light on, maybe a little expertise. And that's one of the roles of this awesome office of president is to be commander-in-chief. And I worked up close and personal with a couple commander-in-chiefs as a member of the JCS. And I know something about what a senior military guy or a service chief, one of the Joint Chiefs, might want in a commander-in-chief. So let me tell you what I think. Let's try to draw up a blueprint here. What are the specifications? What qualities do we want in a commander-in-chief? Well, at first, we'd like intelligence. Now, why do I get a response to it? This country has been conducting an enormous experiment in the last 7 years. We've been testing the notion that it doesn't make any difference if the guy in the White House is not very bright. And the results are in, okay? We know how that worked. And frankly, if you look at the crowd of candidates, they're all pretty smart, the people that are running on both sides. You know, whatever else happens, about a year from now, there's going to be a big jump in the IQ in the White House. Okay? But my guy, Barack Obama, has even opened up a little gap here, in my opinion, against the competition. If you know him, you know what I'm talking about. This guy is just flat smart. He's brilliant. It's amazing. I'm constantly, just say inside myself, gee, I wish I'd thought of that. Guy's smart. So there's a gap there. If I'm a senior military guy trying to judge this specification, I think Barack's got the edge. The second thing we'd like to see is leadership. I see some military guys sitting around here. Army, huh? There goes the neighborhood, again. Great. But, we spend our life trying to figure out how to get guys to follow us somewhere, so we want that in a commander-in-chief. We want leadership. And I don't know what it is about Barack. Everywhere we look at the size of this crowd, standing room only, in Vinton, Iowa, in the middle of the night, December night, holiday night. You didn't show up to hear me talk, I know that. There's something electric about Barack Obama. He's incandescent. He's got a real leadership gift. And here it seems to me, if you look at the other candidates, this gap begins to widen quite a bit. The third quality we'd like to have in a commander-in-chief is judgment. And judgment is a lot like intelligence, but it's more than that. It's kind of hard for me to describe because it involves your worldview and your life, your outlook, your history. But you can, if it's hard to describe, you can see the results. You can judge the results. They're in the public record. As near as I know, Barack Obama is right about every single important social, economic, political issue in the early part of the 21st century. So I know his judgment's good there. You can judge it for yourself. Listen to the positions he takes. But let me tell you about one thing where I can shed maybe a little more light. That's this business of foreign policy, international affairs. I spent my life in that business. And today's events in Pakistan, by the way, underline once again how important this is, how terribly critical it is to have somebody at the top who has the judgment based on all these factors I've described. But in particular, we know the case for Iraq. We know that Barack was right on Iraq. He was right at the right time. He was right for the right reasons. He's right today on Iraq. He'll be right tomorrow and in the White House on Iraq. He has the plan to get us disengaged from Iraq. That's judgment. And that's the kind of judgment that senior military people are looking for. Now let me just describe one final quality. And again, it's kind of hard to put this in words, but I'd call it reliability or predictability or dependability or something. When the chiefs go over to the White House and sit down with the president, or go up to Camp David, as I did, for a council of war before Desert Storm, and you sit around the table, you want to see the same president that you saw last week. The same president you're going to see a week from now. Guy you is dependable, reliable. Now this is Barack's 76th day that he spent in Iowa. And many of you have seen him before, maybe multiple times. But he's the same guy you saw the first day he was in Iowa. He's the same guy you saw the 20th day and the 40th day and tonight, the 76th day. That's the same guy. He didn't come out here to Iowa and try to prove how tough he was the first time you saw him, and then come back a month later because polling showed he has to show you a soft and fuzzy side. He's not, he's not the mode of the week kind of guy, the flavor of the month. He's authentic. He's genuine, and that's what the service chiefs want to see. They want to see somebody that's real in here. Real underneath the T-shirt. Okay? That's what the service chiefs are looking for, and that's what our guy is. He meets all these specs, and in every single one of them, the gap between him and the competition gets bigger and bigger. Now look, I'm not in Oregon because in the next week, nothing real interesting is going to happen in Oregon. But something important is going on here. We need your help. Oregon needs Iowa's help. America needs Iowa's help. We got 7 days to get this done. We need your help to get ourselves a new and a great Commander-in-Chief. Will you help us on that? Now look, it's my honor and privilege to introduce the person who is going to introduce the person. Elaine Harrington is from here. Many of you know her. She's a precinct captain. And it's my honor and privilege to introduce Elaine Harrington.